The Kick-Off Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to the Kick-Off Breakfast Show on Beach FM with Damian on your Saturday morning. Let's talk bowls now, and let's welcome back to the show from the Kapiti Bowls Centre. It is Carrell Knight. G'day, Carrell.
Yeah, hi Damian, how are you?
I'm very well. How was your week?
Oh yeah, not bad. Bit quiet, a bit busy on the bit of administration stuff, but in the main pretty good.
Awesome. Now, it is a time where I'm glad you mentioned administration, because it is one of those times that a lot of us are catching up on stuff, fixing up stuff, and updating and educating with all these changes to level. So what's happening in the bowls world?
Yeah, okay, we did, the centre board managed to get a meeting last week, and then they sent out some advice to all our clubs because this was before the thought of dropping down to level 2, about having their annual general meeting, complying with what's in their constitutions, because, I know at my club I should have been calling for nominations about mid-April for the next year's committee. But, of course, not being down there, so different clubs are taking different views. Our AGM, now that we're looking at level 2 with gatherings of up to 100, most of the clubs can and probably have an AGM if they can observe the social distancing. The centre has asked clubs to let them know how they're getting on with that. So I think most of them, we've got our treasurer sorting out the end of financial year stuff at the moment. That'll go to the reviewer, and we can carry on. We're lucky. With having a small club, we can all fit in there for our AGM. So we'll be good. But clubs should be looking at getting their AGM off. The centre's putting their AGM dates in place, and I think a lot of other sports now will be having a look now that we can do a little bit of social gathering and getting together as long as you keep your distance, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to go forward. But we got, I don't know if anybody from the clubs has checked their emails today, recommendations from Bowls New Zealand. I was just looking at them, and some of them are a bit, we won't go there. This is what the national body's told us we have to do. And that's their recommendations for bowling clubs. The government measures apparently are that public venues can open but must comply with conditions, as we all know. Bowls New Zealand's recommendation is clubhouse cleaning regime is the best practice for members and visitors, which means before we start getting and congregating at the club, all the surfaces that are likely to be touched by members are supposed to be cleaned and sanitised before the club is reopened. I don't know why they're doing it before the club's reopened, Damian, because there hasn't been anyone there to put any bugs around.
Yeah, well, it's just like the schools, though, isn't it? They did a massive clean-up before anybody went back, just in case.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. Clubs have got to put hand sanitisers around for all members and visitors during their time at the club facilities, and that's you've got to have one at the entrance to the club rooms, some out on the green, toilets in the greenkeeper shed. So you've got to have sanitiser everywhere. Disinfectant to be used all the time. One I can't work out here. After each use, all mats, jacks and loaned bowls must be disinfected, sprayed and cleaned. So
each use?
Yeah, now does that mean for this game or in between each game? I think, as I just said a minute ago, I think by the time I toss a jack up the other end of the green and it's rolled along 33 metres, I think all its bugs might have dropped off by now.
Maybe. Wow.
Maybe. So pretty stringent. You're not allowed any more than 6 people on a rink at any one time, no more than 4 people at each end. So that means you could play triples because you've got 2 at one end and 4 at the other end. But they've got to have the rinks as 5 metres apart instead of their 4.4, 4.5, I think was the norm. So it means you're only going to get 6 rinks on a green instead of having the normal 8 rinks to a green. You can go to play at different clubs, but you've got to record your travel, everything else. Bowling greens club rooms have to keep a register of all the facilities in use and who's at the club. and you have to put date, time, address, email, etc., and that's your contact tracing procedures all put in place. So it's all going to be, tables and chairs set up completely with to comply with 1 metre physical distancing, and bar leaners are to be removed because everybody has to be seated.
Wow.
They're talking AGMs and prize givings. You have to observe those. But then we get into, are we going to be able to have our normal championships, or the championships going to be changed? Everything will have to be looked at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a thought came up today when I was discussing the club, our sponsorships that we use each year. Now, we have a lot of small businesses pay the prize money for our galas. Now, those small businesses aren't getting any money themselves this year.
No.
So they haven't got funding to give away to the different clubs, and that's going to affect not only bowls but all the sports. I think I mentioned last week that no pokies around, so we can't get gaming machine funds.
Exactly.
And if you haven't got sponsorship for your events, I don't know where you're going to be at.
No, we're all going to be paying bigger entry fees if we want to be a part of it, and it's everywhere. Have you guys? You guys must be eligible for something in regards to the latest sporting funds from New Zealand Sport and the government.
I think they'll probably look at that as far as the more the regional and things like that, than looking at the smaller clubs. I don't think, Damian. I haven't actually had a good look at it yet, but I will do. But you'd have to be coming up with some decent sort of type project, I think, or a big event that you're going to be able to get funding for. I don't think we're going to be able to get their help in just maintaining your club rooms. I'm not sure. I've got to have a good look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but nothing's going to be the same again, I don't think. We'll try putting a program together for next year, but and of course we look at the thing with people might decide just to stay at their own clubs instead of supporting tournaments like other clubs did. See, we always used to have a first Friday of the month gala where we had people from Shannon and Foxton and all those come through. Well, they may be more inclined to stay home these days. So there's going to be some big changes, I think.
Well, you will keep us updated in all those changes on the show. So always appreciate your time, Carrell. Look after yourself in the next coming time, and we'll catch up as soon as we can.
Yep, we certainly will, Damian, and you have a good week.